welcome to another episode of Making Sense with Making Science. I'm Noelle, Head of International Marketing and Communication, and today we're going to make sense of measurement and CAPI. Liam Hopton, agency partner from Meta for the UK, and Xavier Klein, Marketing Services Director at Making Science UK. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Very excited to be here.
Thank you.
So, before we dive into all the good questions that we have for you both today, I just want to do a general introduction to what maybe measurement is and maybe CAPI for those people who don't know. As I said, we are going to make sense of these two topics. And one of the most crucial aspects of digital aspects today is, of course, measurement and CAPI. And for those people who don't know, CAPI stands for?
Conversions API.
Exactly. So we are going to be understanding how well your campaigns are performing and why measurement and CAPI are two very important tools. So if we lean into measurement first, Liam, what is measurement in general and why is it so important?
Yeah, I think it's a huge question. It's everything, and well, it's not nothing, but it's everything in this case. I suppose to me, measurement is finding out exactly how your marketing is working together and how each individual channel, and we can go even granular than that, how each individual advert is contributing to that overall goal. So we like to think of measurement as three separate things all at once. It's attribution, it's incrementality, and it's calibration. So it's how all of those things interact with each other. Specifically thinking about Meta, we would break down measurement by lots of different terms. We would think about measurement of how we actually track and get purchases into the platform in the first place. So how do we actually know what you're getting for your marketing spend on platform? We can go further than that and compare different strategies and different campaigns, different adverts against each other to understand, does this strategy drive more purchases than this strategy? We can look at, does Meta actually work for your client? We can go much like above that. There's lots of different things that we can approach. There's like a really high ceiling when it comes to it. But measurement, for me, is fundamentally understanding what your dollar is giving you back. In terms of the investment.
Yeah, and I guess that's the most important thing for any business out there. You want to see what your ROI is at the end of the day. So, Shav, looking more towards client side, what is the most common misconception that you hear about measurement, and what is the first few steps that you need to take for implementing this?
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of different misconceptions about measurement, but the most common one, the one that comes back often when I talk to clients, is the fact that you've got one perfect way of measuring, or that is one type of measurement that fits all. Or even further, some people would say that there is, once you have the measurement done, there is nothing else to do. It's a set kind of set in stone, and you have nothing to do. And all of those obviously are quite wrong. The measurement should be very much tailored to the client. They should be tailored to business goals. Otherwise, you can do interesting measurement, but not relevant like measurement. And so, for clients, we work with them to understand what their positioning is, what their competitors are doing, what their maturity is, what the different factors are, and so from there we can try and tailor a measurement framework that makes sense to them. And then the second part to this is the fact that it's an ever-evolving beast, and you have to learn with the years go by, and then there's new things coming up. You've got seasonality as well. The behavior of your audience within 5 years are going to change because they get older as well. And so what we try and do with clients is to kind of debunk those misconceptions through training and kind of measuring, brainstorming and maturity framework to try and take them on a journey to really make sure that it's the most tailored to them. As for your second question, the first thing to do, especially as we go towards a more of a cookieless world, would be first-party data. The collection of first-party data and the integration of the first-party data to your ad networks. It used to be like second-party data, like audience, big kind of interest-based categories. Those were kind of really big and gigantic reach, and still the case, but there's been like privacy concerns, and those have been kind of reducing. And now there's a big focus on bottom of the funnel, ROI driven money, like, you know, getting the bang for the buck. And so we've seen a very big focus on first-party data, the collecting that data, the integrating with ad networks, and being able to target those. And CAPI measurement in this instance really helps the first bit of this, which is the capturing the data.
Okay, so basically you're saying that obviously we all know that the cookies are going to die eventually. Whenever the final date arrives, but and CAPI plays a vital part to that, as you just said. So if we go back to you, Liam, specifically looking at CAPI, for those that don't know, what is CAPI and why is it important, especially for a meta strategy?
Yeah, well, Conversions API it's really important to the future of tracking essentially on our platform. So without going into all of the gory, boring details for everyone, the pixel as it was, so 7 years ago when I first started working in the industry, everything worked with the pixel. It would track 100% of all of the conversions. Yeah. It was like amazing. Nothing ever failed. It was like beautiful. It was perfect. And there has been updates to the industry, regulations into the industry, things like GDPR. There's the CCPA. There's all of these different legislations that have changed it. And I think these are definitely for the good of the world. These aren't bad things at all. Yeah. But that's meant that how the pixel operates, it's a cookie, a third-party cookie, as I was going through the different parties, that sits on the browser. So as there's been updates to browsers and as there's been updates to cookies, like through these GDPR and things like that, it's really restricted what it can see and the information that you can send back to Meta. So that's the problem with the pixel right now. What the Conversions API is, it's first-party data being sent via server-to-server integration. So how I like to think of this, and this is just my way, it's more technical than this, but every time you click on a client's website, physically like click, you go on the next page, you view a product, you add it to your cart. I like to think of it, it's taking a little line of exactly what you've done and storing it almost in a CRM database that sits just behind the website that you can't see. And it's sending all of that information real time to Meta in Events Manager. So there is no interference from browsers, there's no interference from third-party cookies. It's purely whatever's happening on the website is being recorded by the website and sent to Meta, so it's not lost. Of course, if someone is to opt out and doesn't want to be tracked, that's respected. CAPI doesn't solve that, Conversions API doesn't solve that at all. All of these things are still respected. But yeah, that's kind of what the Conversions API is without going into all the gory details.
So basically there's a lot of different layers to CAPI.
Yeah.
But all these different layers, it could be quite confusing for a normal business to understand, which is, if I can do some self-promotion, which is why you get a partner like Making Science. You don't need to say it, Liam, I will. But from again, going back to clients, this is, as you said, Shav, one of the most important things to do in your measurement strategy.
Yeah.
So how do you mentioned also a little bit how you already support clients, but what is the main support that we offer clients to really grab or grasp the best out of CAPI?
Yeah, so there's like two main ways, and I can come to that in a minute, but the CAPI conversation with what you just said is like, it's been for the last 12 months, the last 6 months, CAPI has been around for a long time, but it's been a hotter topic in the last few months, a couple of years. And I think that's one of the main reasons for that could be the fact that in a recession, you've got less budget to play with, and then you have to make sure that every penny you spend returns some investment. And so when CMOs have to cut budget, usually they would cut it from like top of the funnel, mid funnel. Not that I agree with it, but this is not a topic for today. But then it means that there's a huge focus on bottom of the funnel, and they have to prove that it makes sense to invest the budget there, so they have to make sure that they have the proper tracking in place. Because if you can't track it, you can't optimize it. If you can't optimize it, you can't understand if it works or if you can make it work better. And so that's that's how it makes it all work. And so with clients, we work in two ways. We can either be a consultancy, so if they have the capacity to do it in-house, we will guide them, we will do an assessment. Okay, where are you now? Where do you want to be? And what's everything in between from a CAPI and measurement point of view? we can guide them to do that in-house if, again, they have the capacity to do it. Or even easier, we can do it for them. And we've implemented it hundreds of times. It's, from our point of view, it's pretty easy to do, but from someone who has not done it, it can become quite complicated. All of our clients have it, and some of the clients that we onboard and that we start working with, sometimes they don't. This is the first thing we tell them, like, why don't you have it? And let's do it right now. And there's an example of an e-commerce brand we started working with in September last year. They didn't have it. First thing we told them, it was like, you have to have it. E-commerce brand on the verge of Q4. And this is like, I can hear Liam just be like, please make sure they have it. And so we had them implement it, and overnight we could see 78% more conversion tracked through CAPI than the pixel itself, which resulted in about a 30% improvement in CPA. So it's a must.
Yeah, and if I can build on that for a second as well, I think there's the negative side that I think I touched on about CAPI, where, you know, you can't track things. If the cookie apocalypse happens, essentially your pixel won't work anymore. So if you're investing money in and you only have the pixel, your ads manager will show 0 conversions, which is really bad. But I think Sav touched on the positive there, which I think is really key for advertisers. You are missing out on something if you don't do this. Kind of from actually fundamentally being able to track, but also extra performance, which I think is huge. That's way above our benchmark. We normally see it be like 19% more tracked conversions. We normally see a 13% cost per improvement there. So that's fantastic results, and it really is the power of the Conversions API, and it really works for clients.
Yeah, it does, and you can see all of that in the Events Manager tab. Like, as soon as you've implemented it, you can see like what's like the different improvement.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I must have thought of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you already mentioned the pixels and stuff, and you said once the cookie death is here, you can't be able to track. But until then, why? Well, I think I don't need to ask this because you just explained why CAPI is better than pixels. But can you use pixels together with CAPI?
Yeah, for now you definitely can. So the pixel is still working for anyone that only has the pixel. It's still working, it's still tracking. We would advise you to have both running at the same time, just in case one misses something, the other one gets it. Everything would be deduplicated, so it's not going to start tracking things twice. If there's a purchase, it's going to be deduplicated, so Ads Manager only sees one of them. We would call the setup where you have both the Pixel and Conversions API together, we call that a redundant setup. I don't know why they got that name, to be honest, but that's what we call it internally, and that's what we would recommend as best practice for now. One day when the Pixel is kind of like, it's not working anymore, we're never going to get rid of it, but when it's not working anymore through other parties kind of influencing how it works, certainly then there'll be no need for it, and we can rely solely on CAPI. There is other ways that we can optimize the Conversions API as well. That's some of it. The EMQ score is the other way that we can really push CAPI to its limits as well. So whereas implementing CAPI in the first place, it's capturing, all of those conversions that are happening. What's just as important in 2024 and beyond is who purchased. Yeah. And that's what the EMQ score is providing us. It's providing us with information on who purchased. If we know who, then we can know if they've seen an advert, and we can attribute it to like ads on platform, which is key. So we can improve our EMQ score through things like sending bits of hashed PAI or encrypted PAI, so first name, last name, email, phone number. Hopefully these are all like present in a conversion, in a purchase, because people are getting things delivered to them or receipts. But there's also like other factors like click IDs, Facebook IDs, IP address that are tied to the ad ecosystem that we can also start to send through to just maximize the EMQ score and maximize the benefit of CAPI.
And for people who are just getting started with this, can you explain what EMQ is?
It's event match quality is what it stands for essentially, and it is just that sending through information about who the person who purchased is. If you are an e-commerce, I'm just going to pick e-commerce for an example. If you're setting up your pixel or the event historically, you're sending the product ID of what they've purchased, the price of that, the currency of that. You can send through things like color and whatever else if you wanted to get that level of detail. That's great information, but we want to build on that and really know who purchased, so then our internal systems and the mechanisms behind everything can identify if they've saw an advert. Maximizing your EMQ score, and this is a number from 0 to 10. When you're at 10, we're maximizing the Conversions API integration to its maximum to guarantee that as many people as possible who have purchased, we know whether or not they've seen an advert, so we know whether or not we can attribute it to Ads Manager and really, really drive the performance there.
Okay, amazing. Thank you, Liam.
No worries.
And you know, we were speaking earlier about, you know, what the clients are asking for. You're identifying a lot of clients who come in, don't have CAPI already. It's the first thing that you implement. So my question, Shab, is what is the best way of measuring the impact from an agency side rather than a platform side? Because obviously Liam's working behind the scenes with the platform, speaking to everyone at Meta, but from a real world perspective of working day in, day out with clients, what is actually the best way to measure the impact of CAPI?
Yeah, so as I touched on earlier, like you can straight away see the campaign performance improving based on capturing more data and having a better visibility on the conversion. So you track more conversions, it helps the CPA, it helps with the learning phase, it overall helps with the campaign kind of setup. But then going above that, above and beyond, what we do for clients to really help them understand the relevancy of the channel or the platform is to understand the incrementality. And so what we do for clients is something called conversion lift study, where we try and understand the incremental lift from running the campaign. Because I got some of my clients, they come to me and say, Xav, cool, we've had like 100 conversions, but some of those conversions would have happened regardless of running the campaign or not. Some of them would have kind of happened organically. And so the question is, how many new conversions are you actually driving through this campaign? And this is what the conversion lift study allows us to do, to try and understand that and answer that question. So you can do it without CAPI, but with CAPI, obviously it's a lot better, and the results are a lot more significant. We've done it for one gaming client recently, where they were kind of questioning the value of Meta because they were on the last click attribution model, and so CPA didn't really look amazing, and the value didn't really look amazing. But they also did MMM, mixed media modeling. And that study, which takes into account a lot more, was saying that Meta was really good. And so what we did is we set up a conversion lift study to try and understand how many more conversions do we get from running a campaign on Meta. And the result was absolutely outstanding. We saw 128% incremental lift in sign-up and 138% incremental lift in actual deposits. And so that's how you can actually really come back to the business and say, this is working. We track well, we optimize well, and it goes above and beyond just running the campaign. And you know, the business turn around and be like, wow, okay, cool, double budget. So that's how. Okay,
so why? I mean, I'm gonna ask you first, Shab, and then I'm gonna ask you, Liam. So why do you think that people aren't ready, or brands, not people, aren't implementing CAPI from day one?
They might not know the benefits of it. They might think that, cool, I've got a pixel, what should I spend money on going above and beyond with CAPI? And they might think it's too complicated. They might not understand the benefit versus the cost or the time consuming, and they don't know there are several options. They don't know how easy it could be, and they just think that what they've got is good enough at the moment. So it's our job to try and tell them, well, no, this is not good enough, and you've got options. Some of them are easy, some of them are more complicated, some of them we can do for them, but it's all about kind of starting the conversation.
What about you, Liam?
Yeah, it's tricky. I think in a perfect world where everyone has a resource and everyone has time and everyone has, you know, the means to do it, everyone would have CAPI. The more valid concerns that I've seen or objections we've seen is around like privacy in legal, and these are super valid, and businesses should be really careful and do their research on these things. We have resources available on the Meta side to maybe explain a little bit about what is happening. We have white papers available to be able to kind of digest some of that information from like a very legal standpoint. That's what I've seen as an objection, but realistically this is necessary at some point. We just don't know when that time period is. And the performance benefits for any performance marketing team and any client or any agency, like this will make your numbers more accurate. This will improve the numbers. This will make you look better to your boss, etc., etc. You know, there is a real benefit to fully understand anyone who's working on Meta as a channel. If you don't have the conversions API, there is performance left on the table. There is numbers you are missing. There is conversions that you are missing. You're not getting the full picture. And I think that's key, just to be able to try and capture that, report on that, and truly use that to optimize.
But how long does it take to, you know, if I'm a client and I say I want CAPI, how long until I start seeing results?
It should happen immediately. You should be able to get some of these insights now. I mean, data is, when it starts to come through, you won't see like the full picture. It will take like a little bit of time to almost calibrate exactly what that uplift is. I know there was some nice numbers quoted by that was 78%. It might fluctuate the first few days just as it's kind of finding its feet a little bit and it's trying to calculate that. But yeah, you should see the improvements almost immediately.
And what can you tell me, because I know that there's different types of CAPI, so what can you tell me about that?
Yeah, we would class it as like there's 4 main types. Kind of 2 of them are very, very similar. So we have the direct integration. This is the developer one. This is code based. This is where you are physically setting up that pipeline between the client's website, the client server, and Meta server. So there's partners that can help you do this from a data standpoint. Making Science can do the direct integration. So partners like Making Science, there's others that can't do that. But that's the most sophisticated one. That's also like the highest quality one, but it definitely takes the most kind of time investment to be able to get to that. We have partner integration. So if you're a business that is websites powered by Shopify or something like that, WooCommerce, we have integrations built in with them. There's sometimes one-click solutions where you can just go straight to it, get it. It's a good CAPI integration. It's there. We would say the direct one is slightly stronger. The last 2 are the gateway and gateway multi-accounts. Now they're kind of like the same one. As Meta owns the Pixel, Meta also owns this solution called the Conversions API Gateway. This is built by a team of engineers that we have internally. I've spoke with some of those engineers. They're lovely guys, but they work basically a full team dedicated to this product, the upkeep of this product, the updates of this product. This is using a cloud service to be able to host CAPI for you, and then it's just the steps of connecting your website, your client's website, to the cloud, on the cloud to Events Manager, and then it will do everything for you. But those are the 3 options. Gateway can take like an hour. Sometimes the partner integration can take like 5 minutes. Sometimes it can take weeks and weeks and weeks, depending on the partner. Direct, you might be able to shed some light on how long this can take. Again, it depends on the resource at hand, the developers at hand, and like who you're working with to execute it.
So if all of this is well and good, what does the greater visibility of conversions enable you to do for clients, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, to summarize all, is like greater visibility will allow the system to work better. It's a lot to do now with like letting the algorithm do what the algorithm does. And it's like give the algorithm the best chances to learn and improve. And then you can focus on other things. You can focus on like creative, so like have a lot of creative amazing mobile first, all of those things that we keep on saying for all of those years, because now you go a bit broader, or you need to have like personalization at scale, and the system is actually going to do that. So it helps the campaigns. And then next step would be, the conversion lift, the search lift, all of those kind of studies that help understand the value of those channels. But I think to go even further than that, then it goes into the predictive type kind of measurement, the predictive lifetime value. One thing that, as you know, we work at Making Sense with is kind of this predictive lifetime value, where based on the first few interactions of a user on the website, you can try and predict the lifetime value of that user. And in real time, then you can turn around and feed the system, the bidding algorithm, with a score that would allow you to score higher or lower based on a lifetime value that is higher or lower. And I think it all starts from that first-party data integration, the gathering, and the utilization for like the starting block to do even more. And I think the next step, yes, is all of that predictive stuff.
Okay, amazing. So, I mean, I think from my point of view, I'm on board with CAPI. I'm not even a client, but it sounds great. But if we're looking at the whole measurement ecosystem, CAPI then plays a very important role to start off with. But what does the ecosystem look like? What's included? You mentioned lifetime value already, but Leo, what would you say? What's the wider scope for measurement?
Yeah, I think it's huge, and this is one of the building blocks. This is like the starting point. I think if you want to make your experimentation on platform more effective, CAPI is a great way to do that. If we're receiving more signals, it means we have to spend less money on tests, or if you were to spend the same amount of money, the test is even stronger, the results are even more accurate. So that's really, really important for us to be able to do that. Like building on Xav from the last question as well, we have a lot of AI and automation products like ASC, and making science are fantastic at adopting these in the first place, but things like CAPI makes those even stronger. If this is a discovery platform, it's an optimization engine. We need to get to like a result. We need to optimize towards a result. The more results we can track via Conversions API, we can truly understand the impact. Is ASC helping our clients? Is this not helping our clients? This is a journey, this is a maturity journey. Some clients might not have CAPI, we would want to get them started on it, we want to get them CAPI, and then from that the doors really do open up, like conversion lift testing, like Xav said, search lift testing, like Xav said, lots of different things. We have this robust data pipeline now where we can start to do things like predictive lifetime value, profit margin optimization, lots of different things, because we have the pipeline, we have it ready to be able to do some of these things. So yeah, that's what I would say we can kind of start to do, and what we should be doing. We should be going on this journey and starting from just implementing it, reaping the benefits initially of it, seeing stronger optimization, seeing stronger experimentation on platform, and then really starting to go through into some of these like niche things that are really going to like improve and answer the client's questions, which I think we mentioned right at the beginning. Like that's what we want to do, is answer these specific business questions, work towards a specific business goal for our clients. Yeah,
100%. And from a client's point of view, I guess we can go even like broader. You've got CAPI, you've got more data, you can do your measurement, but that's in-channel kind of measurement. And usually clients for like on their media plan, they would have more than one channel. They would have different partners on there. So what you want is like a holistic data collection and a measurement and attribution system, not just in one. And so you zoom out, and then you're looking at kind of a broader spectrum of channels. So you want to align all of that. And in addition to cross-channel, you want to go full funnel. Measurement is focusing a lot on bottom of the funnel, but then there's a lot more to it. There's like obviously middle of the funnel and top of the funnel, and you want to be able to track everything like full funnel across channel. And all of that is one bit, and that's online, but there's also offline. You're a retailer, you've got shops, you want to track footfall and maybe map out a purchase in a physical store to an impression on Instagram like a few days prior. And so it's linking the online and the offline data. And all of this, I realize, is a lot, and it can be quite scary to clients. So what we do for all and every client is we work on a maturity framework. This is some sort of a plan, a roadmap, if you want. Of it could be as like 1 month, 5 years. It really depends on where you want to go, and it goes from like where you are now, where you want to get to, and then everything in between. Measurement is just one part of it. We've got audiences, creative, automation, product. There's a lot of layers to it, and then there's a lot of difficulty. And so we've done it with all clients. We do it on all QBRs. What do we want to achieve in the next 3 months? What do we want to achieve in the next 12 months, 5 years? CAPI, do it tomorrow. But predicted lifetime value, cross-channel, offline, online, that's a lot more complicated. There's a lot more stakeholders involved. And so if you visualize it, it becomes a lot less scary, and you understand where you want to get to, and okay, what is a smaller step, and it really works wonders.
I think there's two great points you just made. I think the maturity framework is key, and I think that's how we can really get clients to that end goal.
Yeah.
You know, we mentioned the 3 different areas of measurement right at the beginning: incrementality, attribution, calibration. Like, this is ultimately what we're working on, to get all 3 of those ticking the boxes and truly working out the impact of like each dollar. So I think that's fantastic. And maybe 3 years ago, Conversions API would be like advanced. It would be like the advanced part of the maturity framework. And now, like, as of today, this is almost like, it's not quite in the basic section, but it's just past the basic section, you know, in terms of like, we should be thinking about this on every client where it's applicable. And the second really good point you made was around like offline and app. Conversions API now supports offline data and app data as well. So we can pull all of that through for the first time into like one data bucket on the Meta side to be able to truly understand what's happening. We have a stat, I think it's 73% of users want like that personalization. They want it to be seamless, no matter if they're in a retail store, if they're online on your client's website or not on their app. They want it to be seamless. They want their experience to be like as personalized and as easy as possible for them. And being able to set up a data bucket where we have all of the offline data, the online data, the app data all in one, be able to optimize in platform and track that in platform to truly understand what's happening there. That's how we can do it, and we can give them the experience they want.
Yeah, it's a journey.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to summarize, to be honest. But no, so, I mean, thank you, Liam and Shav, for taking part today and making sense of measurement and CAPI. But to try and summarize, implement CAPI. But secondly, some really, really good points that you can use CAPI just not for online, offline. You can use it across all verticals and sectors. Thank you again for joining, and if anyone has any topic that we should do next, please let us know in the comment section or email us at info@makingscience.com. But yeah, thank you for making sense of measurement and CAPI.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.